Welcome to 1000 PS here in Austria, and quite strangely they've got an Englishman to test an English bike, being the Triumph Speed 400. However, it's not actually made in England anymore. But we'll digress that little fact. Let's go for a test ride and see what it's like.
Today, we present the highlights of our naked bike test that took place in June 2024 in Lower Austria. 10 motorcycles were tested by our 1000 PS test pilots. The team included the German champion Martin Bauer, the British journalist Adam Child, all the 1000 PS editors, riding technique instructor Ewald Baumgartner, and our stunt pilot Kurt Rubik. We encountered rain multiple times during the test, and our motorcycles had to be continuously cleaned for the shoots. For this, we relied on the Motorex Quick Cleaner, which quickly ensures cleanliness. The motorcycles were tested for a week, and the results were recorded in a ranking table. We published these tables on our 1000 PS website. You can find the link below in the video description. 1000 PS now reaches 4 million motorcyclists from all over Europe, and with this video series, we aim to provide these people with support in making purchasing decisions. During the test, our pilots wore the HJC RFA 71 Carbon and enjoyed the good ventilation of the internal sun visor while still benefiting from its low weight. Comfort and safety were provided by EXS Gear, and the 10 motorcycles were directly compared with each other, regardless of displacement, but rated according to the same criteria. Each test pilot then ranked their favorites, which led to an overall assessment. The best motorcycle received the top grade, while the worst was ranked 10th. The tables show in which areas the motorcycles perform above average and where they are more likely to perform below average, regardless of price and displacement.
Actually the third time that I've ridden Triumph's new 400. I rode the prototype back in England when it didn't look like this. It kind of looked black and white and a bit strange. Then I've rode it again in England, and now we're here in Austria. Now my impressions of the bike has remained the same. It hasn't changed. Even when I first rode the bike, I was hugely impressed. And then when Triumph told me the price that was going to be under £5,000, I was like, really? Because it's pretty impressive, and I think you're going to sell pretty well. And it is a hugely impressive bike for that under £5,000 category in this retro market. The style, the finish is absolutely superb considering that price bracket. The finish, the looks, the style, I think it's got it all. And then when you jump on it, yes, it's only like just over 40 horsepower, it's 39 point something horsepower, so it's not got the 45 and 47 of other A2 bikes in this category. So it's a little bit underpowered, but that single cylinder power matches the retro styling perfectly. On some bikes that are single cylinder and have more performance, it's all at the top end and it's a little bit lumpy low down. This isn't really at the top end, this is all low down, and it's quite smooth for a single. It's really easy and really smooth and really forgiving, and I can see new riders absolutely loving it. On the flip side, it's very short geared, so when you start getting to 70-80 miles an hour on the freeway, it is kind of over revving a little bit. You are asking a little bit too much of the engine if you want to be riding quick, but that's not the idea of this bike. The idea of this bike is to put an open face helmet on, jacket and jeans, go for a nice 30-40 mile ride and just enjoy the bike. It's almost like having a classic bike that doesn't leak oil and you don't have to kickstart. It's that good. It's such an impressive bike. In the UK and in Europe, the bike is sold by the bucket load, and it's obvious to see why. It's a premium A2 cafe racer bike that is under £5,000. I mean, I wish I'd have got shares in Triumph when they launched this bike, because I knew it was going to sell, and it proves so it has done. So clearly I'm loving Triumph's new 400. I love the retro style, I love the way it feels, and I love how it rides. But maybe I'm biased because I'm English and it's Triumph, even though it's not actually made in England anymore. But let's see what my colleagues from the rest of Europe think. Hopefully they love it just as much as I do.
The Triumph essentially represents the antithesis to the 390 Duke. Although both are equipped with a single-cylinder engine, Triumph demonstrates that you can take a completely different direction with this configuration. When you sit on it, you immediately notice a very relaxed seating position, offering a lot of freedom of movement. It features a longer flat seat that allows for easy repositioning if desired. However, there was a slight pinch in the thighs from the front part of the seat, which felt a bit peculiar and could become uncomfortable over time. Nevertheless, I don't think this would be a major issue since the suspension is tuned to be very comfortable. This means that riding over urban bumps, I rolled over various rough patches like a king. It was genuinely very pleasant. The engine is designed for this small motorcycle in a way that still makes cruising enjoyable because it provides decent torque from low revs. Zonko mentioned that this is indeed an elastic single-cylinder engine, and that's exactly what it is. It really has a wide rev range where the bike moves forward. Of course, at the top end, there's not much left, but in my opinion, that's not the point of this motorcycle's design. Speaking of design, when riding faster, I did notice that the motorcycle tends to become a bit nervous, at least in my experience. This is partly because you're sitting so comfortably upright and also because the suspension setup is just so comfortable. For me, this isn't a bike for riding fast. You've got a great brake that works really well, but at the same time, the fork is soft. This means you'll compress upwards when you brake hard, but you'll also dip down significantly. These are things you can completely adjust to, and it's predictable, but you can immediately tell that the design is relaxed. Thus, the bike looks beautiful as it stands. I find it remarkable that Triumph has managed to work so cleanly in this price range with cables so nicely laid out and hidden. It's truly great that such a high quality product is offered to a younger, less financially powerful target audience. The motorcycle's overall design and appearance are totally cohesive. For me, a small point of criticism would be that the feel of the gear lever and the throttle is so light that personally I miss a bit of resistance, but that's totally subjective, I must say. Overall, for the price, this bike's aesthetics are an incredible package that Triumph has put together.
Basically, I do like this kind of vehicle because it leans a bit towards the scrambler style and embodies a more relaxed riding experience. And I have to say, Triumph has done a good job with this as the vehicle doesn't have any major flaws. Naturally, the riding or seating position on the bike is very comfort oriented, which is of course due to its layout. The suspension setup is also more on the comfortable side. Because of this, you do miss that precision I look for in sporty riding. I don't really find that on this bike, but the vehicle conveys a certain ease of being. You don't really feel the urge to ride fast, but rather to cruise around leisurely, and the bike does that very well. The engine is well executed. It doesn't show any major weaknesses. The tuning is well done, I have to say, making it a very good vehicle for everyday use.
I believe there are some people at Triumph who are probably kicking themselves hard right now, and maybe someone is going to get in trouble for this. A serious mistake has been made. The bike was definitely priced about 1,000 euros too low. So anyone who bought one today in the German-speaking region and they ordered way too few because they underestimated how good the bike is can consider themselves very lucky. I would bet anything that the price will go up next year. Triumph won't make the same mistake twice of practically giving these bikes away for around 5,000 euros in Austria. There will be a gentle price increase next year to better align supply and demand. So congratulations to everyone who bought one right away. It's unbelievably good. You ride it and you get that amazing motorcycle feeling. You feel exactly how you're supposed to feel in the saddle of a bike. This is what motorcycling is all about. And then you get off and think to yourself, How can this bike cost only 5,999 euros in Austria, including all taxes? And then you wonder about the crap you get from a used bike market 15 years old. And here you get this brand new product with a warranty that rides beautifully and looks heartwarming. So, Triumph did everything right, but they simply played their cards way too low with the price. They probably underestimated the model themselves for whatever reason. Maybe someone had doubts, or I don't know how things went wrong, but it's been a huge success. A huge success. They totally misjudged the situation.
I have to say, this is a matter of the heart for me. I'm really into the style of this Triumph Speed 400. I love that retro cafe racer look with the seat hump and the round headlight. It just looks incredibly good to me. And what's great about this bike is the seating position. It's a dream. You sit so comfortably on it, so you can just enjoy carving through corners leisurely, and it still looks stylish. I don't know how to put it exactly. It's not that aggressive attacking position where you feel like you have to be the fastest in every corner, but you can still lean it over until the foot pegs scrape and it remains stable. The brake is a dream. When you brake for the first time, you feel a bit of a dip at the initial brake moment, but you can still brake harder afterward and it doesn't get softer. So it has a really nice fork. The engine is wonderfully smooth and comfortable. It pulls nicely from the middle range. Before a corner, you might want to downshift 1 or 2 gears, especially if you're going uphill. I noticed that it does lack a bit of power in those situations, but once you've got that figured out, it's really an awesome machine. In terms of looks, for me, it's number 1. I'm just into these retro bikes. I like that style. I've always liked it. I think when I'm older, I'll probably get myself a retro bike just to cruise around. I really like it.
Aside from the fact that I find it visually okay, it's not my favorite, especially when you compare it to the Wittpilen in the 400cc range. Sure, it's punchier at lower RPMs, but it's less sporty, and I just don't like the seating position as much. Yes, it has that scrambler feel, but it doesn't fully commit to being either one thing or the other. I feel like it's neither here nor there. It didn't give me a great sense of security, and for me, safety is really a key factor and a top or flop criterion. That just wasn't there for me, so I have to say it's not for me.
The motorcycle is one where I personally don't feel quite comfortable. Visually, it's really beautiful. I do like the color, the design, and that touch of retro look. But when I ride it, I feel a bit like an outsider, like I'm not really connected to it. It's just not my approach to something like this.
Please don't forget to subscribe. If you've got any questions or if you think I'm biased, get the comments below and we'll try and get back to you.